In these problems, we're going to be doing some division that involves fractions. And if you look at this first problem, how many quarters are in $7? You probably know that right off the top of your head. Since there's 4 quarters in a dollar, in $7 it'd be 4 times 7 or 28. And that actually seems like a multiplication problem. But you can also think of this as a division problem. Really, you're dividing $7 up into pieces that are 1 quarter. So 7 divided by 1 quarter is really what we're doing here. Now, the trick about dividing by a fraction is you actually have to convert it to a multiplication problem. And you do that by flipping the fraction that you're dividing by, so taking the reciprocal of that, putting what's on the top on the bottom and the bottom on the top, and then changing this to multiplication. So this actually becomes 7 times 4 over 1, which is just what we were talking about. 7 times 4 equals 28, and that's how many quarters there are in a dollar. Now, you might not need to go through this mental process with this particular problem, but there are a lot that are like this that probably aren't as easy to figure out this way, or in your head, and you'll need to do it this way. Let's look at one more. This one says the diameter of a marble is 3/4 of an inch. How many marbles are needed to make a row of marbles 9 inches long? So that's a little tougher. So let's say you had some 9-inch space, and you've got marbles in here, and each of those marbles is 3/4 of an inch. So from here to here is 3/4 of an inch. The way to think about this is you're dividing this 9-inch piece up into spaces that are 3/4 of an inch long. So it's really 9 divided by 3/4. And we can convert that to a multiplication problem by flipping this fraction around. So 9 multiplied by 4/3, the reciprocal of that. And then to figure this one out in my head, what I really like to do if I have a fraction that I'm multiplying by, I try to divide by the denominator first. So 9 divided by 3 would be 3, and that times 4 would be 12. You could also say 9 times 4 is 36 and divide that by 3, and it's still 12, same thing, but I like the other way better. So the answer here is 12 marbles of 3/4 of an inch long would fill up that 9-inch area. All right, let's look at another one. This one says how many 5/4 are in 15? And that might seem a little confusing at first, but really it's exactly what we've been doing with the quarters and with the marbles too. Here we were asking how many 3/4 of an inch segments are there in 9 inches? So when you say how many 5/4 are in 15, we're simply taking that 15 and dividing it into pieces that are 5/4 long. So we'll convert this now to a multiplication problem by flipping this fraction here. So 4/5. And then, so when we're multiplying by a fraction, you want to divide by the denominator and then multiply what's on the top, the numerator. So 15 divided by 5 would be 3 times 4 would be 12. So that's a little introduction to dividing by fractions in these word problems.